The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. Once more, into the breach do we go, dear friends. So as we start this day off at this time,
the following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, what happens? Well, we're off 24 on the S&P. I think the maximum I saw was minus 33. Let's go down here and look and see what we have for both volume and what I've got. 2.8, what is it? 2.4 billion shares, which is just about the same that we've been going up on. So there's not a whole lot new there. We got down to a low of 28.18. So we're 11 points higher than that. And just kind of burning off mostly a kind of euphoric position on many stocks. A lot of them don't seem to be hurt that bad. It's kind of an overall movement. And, you know, when you're talking about S&P 2000 and S&P 2800, 30 points is more like about 18 points. So we're really having to move. I mean, it used to be a Dow 500-point move was a big move. I think we're probably looking at a big move now as 750 or higher. But I think this is kind of the first sign that we're going to be moving to a market that is two-way, probably slightly higher overall through the rest of this year. We've got a lot of good and bad news all hitting at the same time. It looks like we're going to spend a summer in Watergate-like hearings. And so politically, everybody's a little kind of thinking that maybe this infrastructure deal doesn't make it because they're going to be having muskets at 20 paces. Well, I'll just wait until the thing comes out. But from the leaks already, it's pretty horrific stuff. And we're looking at basically the same thing as Watergate, bugging your political enemies. And the question is just how high does it go up? And from the leaks, it would sound at least into the White House. And the question is, does it go high as it could go? So we'll find out in the next week or so. But sounds to me like we're already looking forward to another summer of wonderful investigative congressional hearings that will drag out forever and probably keep these guys with guns pointed at each other with a little bit of mutual assured destruction going on for the rest of the year. State of the Union tonight, again, that was supposed to be the lead off for the infrastructure bill. It's going to be very hard to figure out how most people that have been pushing for things like infrastructure back up all over it now. And of course, the people that hated it are pushing it. So I kind of feel like I'm in one of these alternate universes. Nothing new there. But we got a lot of bad news, a little bit of what would you call it? Downright fraud, it looks like, kind of coming up here. And again, when you get to these highs, as soon as the market comes off even a little bit, when you get to the tops, I mean, pet.com died fairly quickly before everything else blew up. But it was fairly early on noticeable that there were a lot of problems in pet.com and the .com bubble and many others, no earnings, that kind of stuff. We don't have quite the same thing, though, But we do have a lot of surprise announcements. We'll look at charts in that. We got a little bit of history. We've got your phone calls and your emails. Yeah, and related pension time bombs. And a lot of other stuff going on out there. Who investigates the investigators? Always an interesting thing to figure out. But yeah, we're going to see, I think we're going to see a lot of upset people. And if you believe Mr. Gowdy, which he's been pretty much a straight-on shooter, there's people going to jail over this. So we'll find out in the near future. Okay, so what do we have? Just a lot of red. Got some, I always like that Monty Python movie, The Meaning of Life, because the end of the movie stops with, of course, always look on the bright side of life. So we've got some stocks that are actually up today, breaking the trend, and a little bit of history.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
It is history repeating, and on this day, Richard Schrenka writes the first PC virus code, which is 400 lines long and is disguised in an Apple II boot program called Cloner. Didn't really do much. Of course, people handed around disks, and one disk could affect another disk if you were taking it in and out. But, man, you just went down there and got copies of new disks. It was really the Internet that moved PC viruses. In fact, the first Internet virus started off about 2 months after the actual Internet started in or as they called it, the intranet. I think it was about 1972. About 2 months later, someone had already written a virus to infect the machine at the other college. So it didn't take very long. They've become better and better as operating systems become bigger and bigger. They continue to be rather, you have 1,000 gates to get into the Coliseum. That's 1,000 points that you have to cover and be perfect on all of them. And as operating systems get bigger and add more features, it's always a war between those willing to try to breach all those gates and those in charge of making sure that they are secure. But, viruses are kind of interesting. But for the most part, they were a minor nuisance. They're now getting to the point where they're being weaponized by state actors like China and North Korea and Russia. But you know what? I'm glad they're doing it now, because if we did nothing, one of the things I always worried about Apple was that they had very few virus writers. When they do get a virus, it literally shuts down all their machines, because it's kind of like the Aztecs and the Spanish showing up. Man, they gave them all the disease, instantly died, and that's kind of the same thing. We're at least getting a little bit of an inoculation as these things happen every day. But really, the real big one, and actually found wide adoption this day in 1982, where it traveled across the country in a matter of weeks. We'll be back after this. We'll start looking at charts, talking about a little news. I got a little sound clip from somebody that I think you might appreciate and answers a question.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we'll come in here and check. We're off 25 points on the S&P cash. And I think it's going to be an interesting week coming out here. Got some emails. I will answer those questions. I had one little clip here that I thought was very telling. Cheryl Atkinson was a reporter on CBS. She left and gave up in 2015 after having a bunch of great stories, she said, from all kinds of different venues. But it didn't matter what she did when it was hard-hitting reporting. They just wouldn't run it anymore on CBS, so she finally called up and said quits. She's got a new book out there called not Slandered. I knew it. I just finished it. Now I got to go find it. Smeared. Excuse me. Smeared. But she said this, and I thought it was fairly interesting because it kind of the way that I look at news around the stock market, which is when you're looking one way and everybody's looking one way, is that because there isn't something that they're trying to keep you from looking at? But here's her little clip.
Well, I think when you look at the narratives being pressed and you see the same thing being said over and over again, for me as a news person, our instinct should be maybe to look the other direction. So, yes, some people should cover that. 24-hour news is going to cover the latest development in X, Y, and Z, but shouldn't some of us at least be looking for the stuff no one's pushing out there for us to discover, things that we're finding on our own through the reporting we do and the sources we have, and the stuff particularly that powerful forces are trying to suppress.
And, yes, somebody rightly in the den brought up that the Obama administration hacked her computer, trying to find out how she was getting information. So it was, it's kind of interesting, but great book, by the way, if you want to understand actually what's happening in big media. She chronicles the change in her 20 years at CBS from being able to do anything as long as it was correct and she could back it up to literally nothing being able to make the air because one of the advertisers would call up and say, we're going to drop you and everything on CBS if you run this story. Basically what it amounted to. And, of course, some of the worst, I got to say, one of the worst events in journalism, of course, was that 2006 phony article, or not phony article, it was a phony thing on George Bush. It cost the head of CBS News his job, but you never know. What else do we have going on here? Let's go to some charts, because I think if you're not wound up already from the news, just give it a week. My guess is that there will be people out there with flaming arrows going after each other after they find out what's going on here. So what do we have going on today? Well, a little bit of up and a little bit of down. I'm not going to just be a Debbie Downer today. So we'll look at the company that bought my company. Company's back up. How could it be? Every company went down today. That's going to be the news out there today. But I always like to look where everybody's not looking. What about stocks that actually went up today? Harris Corporation, actually turned around a lot of what's going on. I can't say that I like what Harris does as a corporation. They do a lot of shady stuff with the government, not quite legal, which is always an issue, but apparently they're making money at it. And a huge bounce up here today. You probably like to see a little bit more volume, but again, on a day like this, it's hard to say. If you're probably holding this, you're probably saying, thank my lucky stars I wasn't in all those other ones that got creamed today. But that one actually looks fairly good. Can't make anything. Solid breakout, decent volume, and on a day where everybody else is headed the other way, you got to be happy about that. Buy it on the retest of that breakout level, looks to me. We've talked about iRobot for a while. This one had some fairly bad news. Down to 86.30. It is off 6% today. And it's coming off the worst of these levels. It is a handful of these stocks that have now broken their uptrend lines. And this is where I'm going to say that you're still looking for a handful of days, maybe a week, before these things dip, retest the tie. And if these things go up with light volume, then I suspect is the time to actually go short and find something more than lasts for more than a day or two in this market. But I don't see anything out here that doesn't say that fund buying gets in gear and that we get pushed back up. Now, if fund buying doesn't do much, then you probably, if you've been long for a while, I'm not talking about trading 5 or 10-minute charts. I don't do that. But if you're thinking about the long-term crack, I'm still thinking that the way that this market is set up, even today, sets up a February 7th, or 8th, or 9th, somewhere in that range, possible top in the market. If that goes up there, there's no juice, then maybe we see the kind of pullback and destruction that everybody wants to see, apparently, in this market. Everybody's talking about it. I just have not seen markets that have gone to highs and then just rolled over and that was it. You almost always, if you're long, get a second opportunity to get out close to those highs. May not hit that high, but it'll push. And you know when it's pushing that you're not getting much out of it. Principal Financial Group, as John from Philadelphia and the Den pointed out, a lot of these guys have huge problems in both accounting and taking care of things like pensions. We've seen a few of those. And this is down 8% today, but blew through and out back to October of last year, all the people that have been long this. And you continue to keep an eye on it. Its sister in this field is MetLife, who's a big employer here in Tampa. They always have the Met balloon around for all kinds of stuff. Summertime fun. They buzz it over the beaches and they fly it over the football field when we're playing football. What is that called? It's NF something or other. I don't know. They haven't been big winners here in Tampa, so I try to forget them if I can. Anyway, down on huge volumes, blowing out its lows back to 46.39. Harley. This is one that has been held up for a very long time. I never understood the idea that this thing was going higher with all the bikes that are out there that are practically brand new. How many people go in there, buy a new bike, don't ride it very much, scared of it, put it in the garage. The thing's got 800 miles on it, and there are millions of these bikes. I just, at some point, is it really worth buying a new bike when you can buy one that's gently used? Probably not used at all. Those people that bikes, children of the 60s, they're kind of going away. They're not buying those bikes. They're getting other kind of vehicles for the disabled. Anyway, we'll be back after this.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we're back, so we're looking at this. We're off 26 points on the S&P cash, and again, the downside's going to be interesting to take a look at. Harley Davidson down, and again, this is back to the support area at $50. Now, the dirty little secret with Harley Davidson is they don't make money selling motorcycles. A motorcycle company that doesn't make money selling motorcycles. Sounds weird, doesn't it? 90% of their profits come from add-ons and tassels and luggage badge and jackets and T-shirts. If they didn't have any of that, and even move the price up on their motorcycles, they would be broke. They also have an issue with tariffs around the world. They try to export their motorcycles, and like in China, 100% tariff over there. So they do have a kind of a problem also getting around, and in certain countries that are major consumers of it. The downside of Harley-Davidson is they've made bikes that attracted a certain kind of rider, but they've never made bikes that were anything close to the quality of the Japanese bikes over the last 20 years. And I can remember when I was racing motorcycles, they have a company called Buell. I was always scared to death when I was behind a Buell because the thing would shake so much that the air cleaners, it didn't have a chain. It had a belt drive, and the belt drives would break, and they'd shoot straight back at you. I tried to get by those folks as fast as possible. It's okay in America, but it still has kind of a problem worldwide where people like that it's big and loud, but it's always suffered pretty much from the 80s when it got reformed to now from quality control issues that it's gotten better, but it's still not what it should be to compete around the world. And again, like I said, I don't know if they care that much because it's more about selling the jackets and going to Sturgis, doing all the other stuff that doesn't matter. Off 4 points today. And, of course, we've not even gotten to Citizen Kane running around destroying every business that he sees in his path. That's Jeff Bezos from Amazon, getting together with the rest of the folk in the Illuminati to go after healthcare. UNH, of course, huge gap down on the idea that these guys, Bezos, and, of course, Mr. Buffett and other folk, going to all get together. Now, this one's got two gaps up here. It's got a gap down. I would not be surprised that this thing probably recovers and goes a little higher. We've seen a lot of these companies that initially get hit by the Bezos effect. In fact, I saw a couple of articles today that said, don't get Amazoned. Now Amazoned, if you're in the business community, is an adjective. But companies that really took it hard, can we remember this gap down in AutoZone back here on May 23rd of 2017? Bueller. That's when these guys came out and really started talking about just how bad it would be once Amazon got into the car part business. It still may be, but man, were they way ahead of the curve in pronouncing the end of AutoZone and other companies. My guess is the same is true. So you're looking for an opportunity, I think, in some of these that got hit, unless something really happens in a hurry. Remember, Apple was telling everybody that they had the business of healthcare locked up for their new iPad, and it's never gone anywhere. They had a big deal with IBM that was going to go somewhere. Big gap up on that, and of course, it went nowhere. Now, what we find out today is there's subpoenas out here for Apple on what they did when they did it on slowing down older phones. Now, they say that that's to make the battery last longer, but they really never told anybody. But that's the modus operandi for Apple. In fact, if you ever went through one of Apple's selling classes, which was put together by Steve Jobs himself, I just happened to be standing around once when Crazy Dave's computers, which was big all over at that time, I met the guy. He seemed to be rather stable, actually. No insanity at all. Was talking about how all the things you should never say to a customer, like how much memory does it have, what will it do, anything else. He says, people are stupid. That was basically the whole idea. We want people that don't want to know anything about a computer, but need one. And that's a certain niche. So don't tell them anything that will make them have to think. Let them get it home, and maybe they'll figure it out by then. We do a lot of work to make sure that the computer is easy to use, which was true, but they didn't want you to talk about RAM or ROM or software or anything else. Just, it's wonderful. Don't tell anybody anything. Don't make them think about anything about how much memory it has or what it does, anything else. Don't ask them what their problems are. Just tell them that they will be solved by the small box. Because if they start asking questions, they're probably not going to buy it. And that was kind of it. And if they ask questions, avoid and don't tell them. I mean, it's actually the sales training. This was Mac training. I got to say, I'm going to say this is a class that I wandered into somewhere around 86 or 87 for Macintosh sales. But that was to the retail consumer. To other people, they just set it up and demoed them all, and everybody thought, oh, this is kind of easy. Especially easy compared to DOS. So I'll admit that. But anyway, these guys are coming in there. This is down a little bit lower. Support comes in about 160. A lot of discussion out here. My question is whether or not this is setting up just like Intel. All I'm hearing is negative, negative, negative stuff. Some of it they should hear. What I haven't heard is how many of those darn earphones these guys sold. Because if they sold a lot of earphones come Christmas time, I know they ran out before it hit Christmas. But when these guys report, we talk about the margins in Apple iPhones all the time, 60, 65%. Once they sell an iPhone and they sold those earbuds, those wireless earbuds, the question is, how much margin is in those? And the answer is somewhere north of 75%. Some people think that it may be 80%, and they sold all of them themselves. They didn't discount it to anybody. They sold for $200, and you had to pay $200, and you bought it from Apple. They didn't have any that really significant amount that ever went through Best Buy that they had to discount. They literally were a vertical company with that product. And I'm not trying to discount what Apple did. I just know what they do. The question is, how many people bought those earphones? They bought a lot of them. Their margins may be significantly higher than a lot of people think. That may be enough to make this thing bounce. A lot of shorts on it. It may do an Intel on you. I'll be back in a minute.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank Bank is a member, FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Okay, so we got a lot of stuff going on out here. We'll keep another dividend. Well, we took another plunge here shortly, down 31 points. Doesn't look like we're going to see any recovery today, and we'll continue on. But I'm looking at the market. I think everything looks okay here. Nothing too exciting, and we'll keep an eye on it. Other stocks that are actually higher today. There was one last thing. I was typing it in the den. I probably ought to bring it up. Apple earnings coming forward. I always wondered whether or not after the Samsung event, whether or not Apple started setting up their taxes, as we talked last week, for a big kind of event like that if they had major manufacturing problems. And that's the unknown. You can look at everything that they've done. I can't find hide nor hair in any of these companies what they actually do. All you do is see that line item when these guys report. So this may be one of these stocks that goes to heaven, and then you see the tax charge and it goes back down to hell. It's been a rare time when you could say that Apple could go either way and wipe a lot of people out, and maybe both ways, and wipe the shorts out fairly quickly, and then see the tax charge. But any tax charge they have is probably going to be small compared to the $265 billion that they can bring back tomorrow if they want. So I'm going to say, if I was going to err on this one, even with the tax charge, my guess is that those new earphones are going to be Apple. In fact, I wrote about it in the Tech Insider a year, maybe a little bit longer ago, that Apple had decided that the only way to grow their company, really, other than some products that never really caught on, like the watch and stuff, was start turning this into a business like the vacuum cleaner business with attachments. And the first attachment was going to be forcing people to buy these earbuds by not putting on an earphone jack. And why that's ticked off some folks and moved them to continue using and buying the old phone like Tommy did. He bought an iPhone 8. As they continue to move on, the new phones are not going to have it. They're going to force people to buy these earphones for $200. Now, maybe this is to make up for that horrible buy of Beats Music, which did nothing for them, and they got no technology worth anything at all. That was a $3 billion flushed down the toilet, in my opinion. But, you know, these big companies, they do all this stuff thinking that maybe it'll hit, and they also don't like to be standing around acting like they're doing nothing. I would say that I want my CEO to take the doctor oath. First, do no harm. And whether it's Ballmer trying to buy Skype for $8 billion when he could have built it himself for $750 million. There's just a lot of times people think that there's some kind of magic in things that aren't there. I think Beats Music was one of those. We've left that behind. It's kind of being forgotten. But the whole idea that they're going to have additional attachments that you can only get from Apple, I think, continues on. We're going to be looking for the new ones. The other thing about earnings and whether or not they're going to start leaking their new phones, but they are definitely going after Samsung with phablet-style phones. And again, this is not going to be a phone where you get an iPhone 10 and that's it. They're going to have several phones in different sizes this year. So that's going to change a lot of things. Maybe that's going to steal some customers from Samsung. Since Apple is only about 12% of the entire market, if they could steal a handful of 2, 3, 4% from Samsung and continue to sell things like earphones, I would be kind of afraid. No, I wouldn't have been afraid at 180, but I'd probably be kind of afraid to go into earnings short this company. Can they make it last? You never know. But I think a couple of quarters, without knowing, I just don't think it's a good bet. I think this one could do an Intel on you. And that you wouldn't be happy, would you? Wouldn't be a good deal. Other companies out here that are kind of interesting, GLW, which of course is in that space for making Gorilla Glass for this, had a huge spike down today. This is on decent volume, 12 million shares. This goes into the gap up, though, of 24 million shares back on the 24th of October. So while you're down here, maybe this thing consolidates around 30 bucks and you get an opportunity to buy that. My guess it would be somewhere around, I don't know, springtime maybe. It's probably going to take a little while to get that. Other winners today is Workday. This one is actually spearing and going to a new all-time high at 121.73. I've never been able to buy this company because it never looked correctly technically, and actually looks a little weak here. But every time I've gone back to buy this thing, it's always looked horrible and then continued higher. So it's one of these things that just, I have to say, I like the company. I love what it does. I love the business plan. I love the CEOs. The guys around it are some of the smartest guys that have been around, and they were in a company that was forcibly bought out. They were molested till they sold to Oracle. And this is the old PeopleSoft guys. They're up here at a high. One of these days, this thing's going to come back, and I'm going to get an opportunity to get a taste out of that. It's been problematic. Also, in the pot industry, a lot of money up in smoke with Scott's Miracle Grow today. They've been making some huge profits selling some fertilizer for some kind of weeds. Don't know exactly what kind they are, although people have a great affinity for burning them, I've heard. Down on huge volume, got to 89.17, so it's blown out a lot. A lot of the idea was that these guys were just going to make money hand over fist. I don't know what happens in it. I don't hang around with people that burn weeds, let me put it that way. So I don't like them burn cigarettes or those kind of weeds or other weeds of any kind. I like the fresh, clean smell of non-burning things. And what do you have out here? Well, it went right through all the lows. Could you get back to 81 bucks? Was this one of these stocks where they just made everything up out of whole cloth? The people were buying this, or did people buy enough and this thing's going to be up and down? I don't think we have enough information. I looked and read the articles today. I'm going to have to dig into this one deeper to find out if there's any value in this, or maybe just too much hype, which I think probably a much bigger deal out here. Finance and accounting designed to be opaque. I always love the saying that all of financial accounting, that one, the books of financial accounting at one time or another, have been gently roasted or completely burnt. Always like that. We'll be back and we'll finish up the show today.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Achievers rise above the rest, and when they see an opportunity, they take action. Massive action. Achievers capitalize on every resource in order to experience success at its absolute max. And on Wednesday, January 31st, from 5 to 6 p.m., I'll share with subscribers of Mastering Probability how to achieve even more success with the extraordinary tools that I use to call the markets. These tools predicted the Ebola 2015 stock market bottom, the December 2017 gold bottom, why subscribers added to their mining positions this month as well. Learn the pattern that projects the Dow's next upside target of 30,740. Folks, great moments were born from great opportunity. So don't miss this opportunity to take advantage of my 30-day money-back guarantee for Mastering Probability. All the details are on the homepage of TFNN.com. Sign up today and reserve your spot for the ultimate subscriber event.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're going to go to the email. Okay. Oh, in the email here. Wanted to look at the IBB. Okay. Well, this is just back to support. Never really broke out with any kind of volume above this 114.17 high on October 6th. But again, you know, today's kind of a bad day for healthcare. When people put together packages or ETFs, there's always kind of a little bit of crossover and hedging from things like traditional healthcare companies and the biotechs themselves. So bad day in healthcare is going to translate a little bit. This is not actually that bad. Volume really hadn't picked up that much. We're going to see a little bit more. But that's it. See, what else do we have here? Okay. Say, I don't think you can make anything out of one trend. You got some nice candles up here. 114's at support level. Could we see that in the next few days? that's kind of where you'd like to see this thing kind of come back with light volume in the next couple of days, about 114. I think, there's a lot of good news, a lot of buyouts. That's kind of this big gap at 112. We continue to see a bunch of them in the overnight and back through today, but kind of dwarfed by the rest of the news out here. I don't know. To me, they're just right now, you wanted to buy back at that 101 level. And what was that? To December 6th, December 10th. I think you pretty much got everything you need out of this move. You want this thing to kind of come back and consolidate out. If you got 114, that'd be fine. 112 would be better. So we'll look at that. But I think, maybe you're making some ABCs on the way up with biotechs. This looks like it could be a good one for this year. We'll keep an eye on it. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. See you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.